Hello and welcome to NoCB, a grand strategy podcast. I am your host, Liana. Joining me this week are our good friends, Rose.
Hello there.
And Father Loris.
What's up? Hello.
And I have combined a longtime podcast meme with my lack of desire to figure out how to get the 3 webcam template up. The Lambert is literally a black hole this week.
Black hole with his birthday, so can we all
it is his birthday. So,
and it is, it has to be DJ's black hole. That's
of course, that is. I hope we don't get a terms of service violation, but that is actually DJ's black hole. Yeah. So
DJ's birthday hole. That's what that is.
DJ's birthday. Oh, we might have an episode title already. Oh. Anyway, let the tangents flow because we don't have a lot of news this week. I think we're at like the very end of the Swedish summer vacation where things are gonna start ramping up again soon.
Next week, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I think a couple of Dev Diaries are coming back next. But Wiz did grace us with a little teaser, a little tiny teaser.
It's a very gray teaser.
Yes, and I'm babysitting. I'm babysitting my sister's dog, who is very needy and wants me to play with her. So if you hear stuff going on in the background, that's.
And also, if you hear cars, it's because I've got my window open and I ain't closing it because it is ridiculously hot in Wales.
Yeah, everyone's talking.
You're gonna be jealous of this. The room I'm sitting in right now is 73 degrees Fahrenheit, whatever that is Celsius.
Yeah, what's that in non-freedom degrees?
Sometimes I can do the conversion in my head. Sometimes I can't. It's
Google does it. 22.77.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, we do have AC in Colorado, luckily. But...
we paid to install this AC. God, I cannot imagine living without it. Because our whole living area is on the upper floor. This is one of those raised ranch houses.
Yeah.
So, we're not at ground level. We're on the second floor, essentially, with the kitchen. So when you cook, the whole place just gets so hot.
Oh, man.
I was 28 today? Yeah. But then again, it's Wales. We're just not used to having, a week of sun.
Oh,
so
yeah.
28, and then, you look at the weather forecast, it's, Wednesday is, 30 degrees. It's the hottest. 28 after that. 25, 28. And then it's back to normal Welsh weather, which is rain Saturday, rain Sunday, rain Monday, rain Tuesday, rain Wednesday. Is perfect. It's back to normal.
My fellow Americans, he's saying between 82 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, that's uncomfortably warm. It's been around that here lately. So if you don't like the weather and you really want to change it, you might have to take a look at these. God, this is why I don't do transitions, because every time I try one,
you could do a transition with the Sims if you don't like the weather control machine.
That's kind of where I was going with it, but it was okay, this is gonna break down. This is not this car is not gonna make it to the bottom of the hill. The wheels are gonna come off, and it's just gonna skid sideways to a stop.
Since we all like The Sims, can we have a separate segment in a future show about the new expansion that's coming out? It's got cows and stuff. It looks really good.
I cannot wait to play it tomorrow.
Okay, let's do a quick Sims tangent. What exactly is happening with this expansion?
It's cottage living.
It's
that British countryside, and you can have a cow and a llama and keep chickens, and you can grow giant aubergines, whatever weird
eggplants, I guess, is the American aubergine.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well.
Or giant cabbages and watermelons, and it just looks so pretty.
Yeah,
I've already pre-ordered it.
It looks so good. I can't wait to make just a quaint little cottage, and then a crypt and have a vampire in it. That's all I want. I want a cottage vampire. That's all I need.
That sounds really cool.
My issue currently with Sims 4 is the same issue people who try to get into EU4 now have, is that there's so much DLC for it, and I have like the base game, and I think maybe the first 2 expansions. So it's like, and I'm such an obsessive completionist that it's like, well, I want to have access to everything, and it's like that'll be $250, please.
Yeah, but don't come cheap. And like,
I mean, I don't need the Star Wars one and stuff, but like, I'd like to own all the major expansions.
Oh, Batu! We all love that one. I mean, it's got some good stone flooring. That's the whole reason you should buy a pack, right? Because you want beautiful stone flooring for your bathroom.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I bought the last expansion. I wasn't really interested in like skiing or whatever, but I wanted like folding doors. That's cool.
Yeah. The whole Japanese aesthetic. Yeah. The world's beautiful too, and it's nice the fact that this shows that game companies can learn. EA has been people have complained to EA for years that the houses in their new worlds that they're releasing are hot garbage.
Oh yeah, like, especially the Magic one. Remember the stuff about Magic?
The Magic one had a staircase leading to nowhere.
Yeah, it was terrible.
But that's just like a metaphor for life, though.
The Get Famous one had a house with no toilets.
This puppy is swinging around a rope like a flail, and I'm afraid I'm gonna get hit in the head.
Well, so starting with Snowy Escape, they've started hiring content creaters.
Oh, really?
That's what they should be doing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what
they
should be
all
doing.
of the houses in Snowy Escape, like in Snowy Escape, they look so gorgeous. Those were made by James Turner YT, Deligracy, Little Simsy, and I think Sim Lacey. I think was the 4th one.
I don't know. I don't know any of the community in Sims.
I know James Turner.
I think I know James Turner because James Turner was involved in
a
multiplayer mod, right?
Flabeliki is his other account, which is actually how I originally discovered him because of Prison Architect stuff there. Well, and then I started watching a random Sims build video, and I was like, "This voice is really familiar. Why is this so familiar?"
The funniest thing is when I watch channels like that, and they're like putting up plants and like decorations on the walls and stuff, and then I look at like every house I've ever built, and it's like, oh, yeah, I guess I should just make this more than like some kind of Spartan functional, completely unadorned skill. Which is funny because I roleplay in most other games I play, but for some reason, like any game where you build your own house, I don't really go to the trouble of like decorating it usually, unless it gives me a mechanical benefit.
The thing is, like I normally spend my entire Sims fortune on like minutia decorations and stuff. So
really?
My Sim can houses are found, but have one room, but that room is like immaculately decorated. That's all the funds to Sim gone.
Yeah.
I mean, what's really fun, I think, is doing like the rags to riches. So you literally start off with nothing on your lot.
Yeah.
And then you build and decorate as you go.
Yeah.
And it's sort of a symbol of, oh, I'm actually coming up in the world. I have a painting on the wall.
Yeah. I don't play it any other way now. Like ever since I did that rags to riches thing, I always play rags to riches now. It's just more fun. Way more fun.
Sure.
Yes. That's what I'm doing tomorrow. I've got the latest. Remember we talked about Swoldy Locks?
Oh yeah.
Once.
Yeah.
So his descendant is like 4 or 5 generations now. I think we're on like 12 generations now. She will be taking over tomorrow. She's currently a teen, so I'm going to age her up and give her one of the new traits.
So we need to get a Sims to Victoria 3 save converter so that you can like play like a Victorian like grocer who has to
I'm sure you can make that
fulfill your life needs and increase your standard of living and then
make the entire Hanovers in Sims and play.
Yeah. We need a Victorian oligarch career path. Yeah.
I did at one point. I didn't do it on stream or anything, but I did at one point design a sim that was like Victoria.
Nice.
Because
it
ended up going nowhere with it. But
why can't I become a monarch? Yeah, like...
a vampire Victoria. That would be really good.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah. So this teaser we got for Victoria too.
Oh, and then make her a super sim, so she's gotten all the traits, all the aspirations. Oh, that could be fun.
And make like a sort of vampire Wilhelm and have them duel, you know.
Ooh. Okay.
Make all the royalty of Europe. You have a vampire Romanovs, vampire Wilhelm.
This sounds like a fantastic idea. Except that you might have some peasants that get mad because they want to vote or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I mean, which you could let them, have universal suffrage, make them happy.
You could
with all that distribution of power.
Right. So we've got autocracy, we've got oligarchy, we've got elder council. I'm assuming is going to be for like unrecognized nations, probably.
Yeah. I'm guessing for like African tribes. And stuff.
Yeah, like less organized societies. Landed voting, well voting. I'm not sure what the difference between census suffrage and universal suffrage is going to be in game mechanic terms. Maybe universal suffrage gives more votes based on dependence. Yeah, because they didn't actually show us what each of these do.
No, I don't know. Unless there's like some sort of citizen mechanic, but I don't know.
Yeah, it could be tied to
culture, that sort of thing.
Your discrimination laws too. Yeah, that could be it. Yeah, I think that we had seen almost all of these before.
They've been mentioned at least.
Yeah.
Val again says it might be literate versus illiterate.
That could be it. That could be it. Yeah, that would make sense because like the intelligentsia would probably want to give the vote.
So you have to do a reading test at the polls. Oh, that's never gone wrong.
Yeah.
Ever?
Never used to disenfranchise certain people.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what mechanics they have because I think this sort of thing is kind of unique to America, where like all these strange political machinations were used, like to deny black people the vote.
Yeah,
for the longest time.
There's been many attempts
to deny new immigrant. I mean,
Chinese
people and new immigrants the vote,
right?
Because they would grandfather in people who'd been there for 3 generations.
Right. Yeah.
And so if you were new, you were an outsider and they didn't want you voting, which is all sorts of problematic.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm curious to see how these are going to interact with the other policies and how many different combinations of voting systems you can end up with. So yeah. Also, chat, if you have like questions and stuff, post them because this is gonna be a light episode.
Here's a question: what's better, iced tea or hot tea?
Oh, I'm an iced tea fan. I like anything cold better than hot.
I mean, hot tea. I mean, even though it's like ridiculously hot, I drank like 5 hot cups of tea today, and it probably hasn't helped.
Oh, I can't.
It's just, I think it's just full of habit.
No, but
I do love iced tea too.
I like iced coffee better too. Like I just like cold beverages in general.
I actually had unintentional iced coffee this morning. My husband had forgotten that he hadn't finished his coffee yesterday, so he stuck it in the fridge for this morning, and then he still brewed himself a fresh cup. So he replaced it, took the one he had made yesterday, and then he stuck the other one in the fridge. So I had iced coffee with breakfast.
Nice.
That was nice.
That's pretty good.
It might be interesting if climate will affect.
Why is Black Ninja saying tea is evil? I'm sorry.
I mean,
what?
Tea is the best. I can't say coffee.
I like coffee better. I wouldn't say tea is evil.
Not a huge fan of coffee.
And I mean, as you said, like at certain times in certain places, if you're sitting at a little cafe in Mississippi having a BLT, you're gonna want an iced tea with that, not an iced coffee.
If you're in a little cafe in Mississippi, you want to have a tea to have a sippy. That's basically that's right. That's what...
And if you're in Mississippi, it's gonna be really, really sweet. They love.
Actually, it's become more it's very common there. You tell people half and half, and they'll give you half diet or not half diet, half unsweet, half sweet.
Oh, okay.
And that's the trick if you're traveling through the South and you don't want to get diabetes from a glass of iced tea.
Yeah, sometimes I like a really, really sweet iced tea, but most of the time I'm like, let's go like a little bit sweet. But
I see half and half a year is the half chips, half rice with a curry. If you say half and half in Wales, anyway. So it's like it's a delicacy. It's that's what it is. Half and half. That's how it cults it.
Iced coffee
yeah.
Here's the thing: iced coffee is better than hot coffee when the coffee is not really good quality coffee. For some reason, being cold and having ice will mask the flavor of the bad coffee more than hot.
So the one time I will absolutely get hot coffee is if I go to like a good like traditional Turkish coffee place. Because if you've never had actual like good traditional Turkish coffee, it's fantastic. The thing is that they don't burn the shit out of the beans. Like so many coffee places in the US are like, we want the darkest dark roast from the depths of Stygia. And it's like, no, that's just called burned. Like you're supposed to lightly roast it so you can actually taste the flavor of the individual coffee that you're
I can't tell.
Yeah.
Like even I've had Turkish coffee. I can't tell between any coffee. I worked in Colombia for a little while and I'm really proud of my coffee. Fucking everyone gives you coffee, and I don't really like coffee, but I would sit there in a British way and go, this is really nice. I really like this. Oh, you can really tell that Colombian coffee is the best, can't you? And you drink it, it just tastes like, I don't know, arse. It's awful. I hate the stuff, but whatever.
There were these places over in Korea. Like, there's coffee shops everywhere in Korea, and you can get some pretty good cups, but there was this place that would do it for 2001. You got a giant, which is 2001's like $2.
Oh wow!
Nice. And you got a giant coffee, like a very nice large size coffee. And it was worth it in the summertime. You got the iced coffee, you put a little sweetener in it, and it was a good cold refreshing drink. Wintertime, it was not worth this $2.
No, I imagine.
So this makes me
wonder. Hot coffee. That sounds, or even bigger, I guess.
This makes me wonder
a quart of coffee.
If like climate will have an effect on demand for like certain goods in Victoria 3. I don't know if they've shown.
Oh, maybe.
Is ice? Is ice gonna be a thing, or are we too early for that? Like, when do they start shipping ice all over the place?
Yes, they've been shipping ice for ages before the Victorian era.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I know it got big in the U.S. like after World War II, I think, is when people started buying like ice chests and stuff. But
ice making machines.
Yeah,
well, a later invention.
Well, like they've shown that like heat is one of the needs that pops can have, which I'm assuming if you live in like Jakarta, that's not really going to be an issue. But then I'd be curious if there's stuff where it's the other way around, where it's desirable in hot climates, but not so much in colder climates, like iced coffee.
Yeah.
Although I still drink iced coffee.
What do you need? I mean, like hats, I guess. It's probably the only thing.
Wool. Yeah. Wool. Yeah. I would not see wool selling well in the Sahara Desert.
Probably not. Probably not. Yeah. So.
What was that American eccentric who, like, basically every business proposition he had was on paper going to be utterly ridiculous, but he always made a financial success of it. Like, he went to Canada and bought like bedpans where they used to heat up hot water and put it under the bed to heat their bed before bedtime, and went down to the Caribbean to sell it because some guy was like having a joke on him saying, "Oh, you have to sell heated bedpans to the people down in the Caribbean." So he did that. And then apparently the people in the Caribbean like really needed large wide pans to make like molasses and stuff.
I have no idea who that was.
And I think another time he went to Newcastle to sell coal. And if you don't know, Newcastle is a big coal town. Yeah. It's a saying. It's like shipping coal to Newcastle is like a saying for a stupid enterprise that doesn't make any sense. But he did that.
I've heard that here in the States, actually.
Yeah. he did that. He got coal, and by the time he arrived in Newcastle, all the coal miners were on strike. So there was a shortage of coal, and he made a fortune. I need to look up what this guy's name is because it's a fascinating guy, real eccentric nutcase.
That is wow. That takes like spinning the luck wheel really well.
This guy was like perpetually lucky. What's in this man? Is it bedpans? I got like some. Timothy Dexter. There we are. Timothy Dexter is.
I've never heard of him before. Interesting.
Yeah, he was from Massachusetts.
Started shipping ice from Canada to India. I mean, that sounds like a really good decision.
Yeah.
Which
how did they keep it cold before refrigeration?
Sawdust.
Oh, interesting.
They pack things in sawdust.
Huh. Okay. No, I wouldn't have thought of that.
And like, I know things like for the cellars, you could put ice in your cellar if you had it dug properly with the proper doors, and that ice would only just be melting fully in the fall. Like it would last you all summer.
Oh, I had no idea that went back so far.
The more ice you take, the longer it stays cool.
Probably not far enough back for the Crusader Kings era, though.
No, but discussing Crusader Kings era real quick, going medieval. It actually has it actually has temperature, and there was a slight bug which they have now fixed. In that, if you dug your cellar and you put flooring on the ground of the cellar, because if you don't put flooring, the food will start rotting because of the surface it's on.
I found that out the hard way.
But as soon as you put flooring on, the temperature in the room would rise because apparently a paved stone floor is not as cool as a rough bedrock floor.
Yeah.
And the same happened for walls. So if you dug 6 stories underground where it should be really cold, and then you put man-made floors, man-made walls, the room would be the same temperature as your rooms above ground.
I see. Okay.
I discovered that the hard way, but they fixed that bug.
That's good.
So that it won't insulate it.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah, I thought that because I started in the mountain biome or whatever, and the scenario I started in was winter, I thought, oh, it'll be fine. Like it's cold outside. This will keep all my food preserved, and it did not.
No, it doesn't. If you put like wooden flooring under it, it would be fine.
And I did that was the run that I did with I had never played the game before, and I posted about it on Twitter, and I had this guy Doyle with the lone wolf, so it just starts out with one person, and he had 23 in like archery, and he was terrible at everything else. So I was calling him no scope Doyle, but then eventually he died because he ran out of food, and the only animals left on the map were wolves. And he tried to hunt a wolf so he wouldn't starve to death, and the wolf killed him, and that was the end.
Yeah. That's how my first run ended as well.
Yeah.
Like exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, that's one thing. The mountain, so doing the mountain run, or even kind of doing the plains run, does not really work right now because there's no way to trade for what you need.
Yeah, and it's like the amount of farmland is so limited, and you can't. It seems like once you get up to like 4 people, you can't really feed your settlement from hunting anymore. And it's like, well, I haven't even researched farming yet, so I guess we're all just gonna die.
Yeah, you've really got to get that research bench up ASAP and get agriculture.
If you don't have farming by your first spring, after the game starts, you're gonna be in trouble probably.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's a fun game.
But it's a really good. I've put way too many hours into it already.
Yeah, it's definitely early access, and it's definitely the type of game where you're gonna fail really, really hard, like 3 or 4 times before you kind of understand what you're doing. But yeah,
I've put 100 hours into it already, and I have all 31 achievements.
Oh, wow.
So that tells you the kind of game.
Yeah, it is very addictive. It is very, very addictive.
I wonder if, but you will get raided just like we did.
Oh, welcome raiders. It's at the expected time and the expected location, which is not how you're supposed to raid. But
though, if you want to see really beautiful, amazing building and going medieval, Avac over on his YouTube has a series where he's gone through pretty much to late game as it is right now. And his town, it's really become a town, is utterly gorgeous.
Oh.
And they murderize raiders. Like, the raiders never even reach the gate because he has so many good archers. It's like your no-scope Doyle if he had survived. Except it's a colony of them.
That's awesome. Yeah, I never even got to the point where I was like building with stone. I'm just like adding more floors and like annexes and rooms onto this giant wooden monstrosity of a longhouse. Yeah. By the way, the spiky thingies. Pro tip: the spiky thingies that give cover to archers, enemies can still walk right through those. They don't count as a wall. I found that out the hard way too.
They just get slowed down.
Yeah, they just count as they give you cover if someone's shooting at you.
Merlons, the Merlons.
Yes, that is what they're called.
But it is really cool that the Merlons only take up one spot in your build menu. Mm-hmm. When you click on it, then you can select the type of resource.
Nice.
So you can, and once you've unlocked like clay bricks, you can build brick Merlons and build an entire brick castle.
Yeah, that was when I was like 25 hours in, and I realized there's like more than one kind of bed. They're just like a really small thing you have to select down at the bottom of the menu.
It makes it so the menu is more compact.
Well, Rose, what else is going on in the Middle Ages this week? What are we seeing in Crusader Kings 3 world?
We are, as they mentioned before, getting minor titles back, which is quite fun, and I think it will add a lot more role play. Though it seems to be adding some gameplay, and they're showing here that they have actually gone back and adapted events to work with the new minor titles. So, like the first one here is the walls. You can choose to build walls around one of your areas, or fix them, I guess. But if you have minor titles, you can talk to your royal architect and see what they do. So you've got more options, more role play, more fun. They've confirmed here, they've said we're getting a court jester, a sentinel, and they say more. But in our images, we see there's a royal architect as well. There's a court tutor. Yay! And then there's a cupbearer who sacrificed himself for his liege. Last image.
So it seems
he wasn't even the wine taster. He just was an idiot.
So it seems like it's going to be a lot more than the +5 opinion badge that they were in CK2. Mm-hmm. It's just like,
there's here, I'm going
to put a sticker on your shirt here, and that's going to make you like me more. That's basically what most of the minor titles were in CK2.
I am still holding out.
Swan.
Yeah, Keeper of the Swans.
We need Keeper of the Swans, and you get events about them being attacked by the swans.
No, you want to have like a Hot Fuzz style detective thing about finding the swan, right? Basically.
I was actually curious about that because like there are definitely places on the CK3 map that like swans could probably not live.
Well, what if it was like the hunting ones, instead of it being a swan everywhere? It's only a Keeper of the Swans in certain areas, and then you could be Keeper of the Parrots.
It's like a Canada Keeper of the Canada Goose. There's just a bunch of angry geese.
Keeper of the Peacocks.
Yeah,
you pretend you're Draco Malfoy.
Yeah, India would make sense for that for sure. Yeah,
Keeper of the Carps.
Right. Yeah, I like anything that adds new events to the game because it just means you're not going to be seeing the same events over and over again.
Yeah, anything with a bit more flavor, a bit of roleplay, it's pretty good in my book.
I'm curious if there will also be... I assume there will be events if you're appointed to one of these titles by your liege as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
Considering how thorough they've been so far with this game, I cannot see that they are not. Which, Black Ninja's still here, but he might not be able to say anything, even if he is still here, talking about his heretical tea and coffee are evil.
He did say he likes hot chocolate, though, and I do like some hot chocolate, especially in the winter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
If you like hot
extra, you gotta have like squirted cream on top with like bit of like marshmallows and a Twix or something on it.
Well,
something completely over the top. You need to do that with hot chocolate.
Yeah, if you like hot chocolate, do you like mochas? Because that's kind of the same thing. Like, it's a little bit more bitter, but
yeah, but it's like you may as well just not add the coffee, and it's better, isn't it? Like, as far as I'm concerned,
I disagree.
It's like coffee cake. Why don't you just have cake? It's better, isn't it? You didn't have to add the coffee. So the coffee cake
coffee cake doesn't really taste like coffee, in my opinion. You just eat it with coffee.
Yeah, I didn't think it had any coffee in it. I thought it was just like an accessory to coffee.
I don't know.
That's what I always thought.
You probably could make it with coffee, but...
Well, I didn't realize for the longest time, until I made a carrot cake, that carrot cake has carrots in it. Like, I didn't realize that for the longest time.
Why did you think it was called
I thought it was just called... Because it was orange, you know? I thought it was just, you know, it was called carrot cake because it was a color.
So, here we go. Coffee cake has butter, sugar, vanilla, egg, flour, baking powder, salt, milk, more butter for the filling, cinnamon, flour, brown sugar. And the topping is made with butter, flour, brown sugar, and cinnamon. Yeah, there's no coffee in coffee cake.
There's no coffee in there.
Why does it taste like coffee then? It's not
you're,
right.
You're psyching yourself out. It's psychosomatic. You
If
hear the word coffee and you think it tastes like coffee.
Maybe that's it. If somebody gave me coffee cake and said this is just like walnut cake or something, I'd probably go, "Ooh, this is really nice."
The coffee cake is supposed to be so sweet, so it offsets the bitter coffee, which is why people usually have coffee with like dessert after a meal.
It's so like
coffee cake is had with coffee.
It's like that. It's like that psychological. I don't know if you've ever like picked up a drink that you thought was one thing and it turned out to be something else, and your brain just like freaks out. Like if you had a glass that it wasn't transparent and you thought it was water in it for some reason and you drank it and it was milk, even if it isn't something that normally would taste bad, like anytime that happens to me, my brain like freaks out and wants to spit it out because it's not what I was expecting. It's like a weird psychological thing.
No.
And Bloody Marys are only made without blood if you're not a vampire. If you're a vampire, it's got blood in there.
I always make them with blood. You guys don't make them with blood?
Use it fresh pig's blood, right?
Yeah, it's pigs for
like
sure.
Black pudding.
Yeah, let's go with that. Definitely, definitely pigs. Definitely pig blood. Yep. I don't know how to transition to this, but we also got a very small
Hearts
teaser
of Iron.
for Hearts of Iron 4.
It's red, I guess.
It is. There's red. We got Arheo showed off a couple more focuses. The development of Tankograd, which sounds
it's a real place apparently.
Sounds fake, but it is apparently a real thing.
Okay.
Apparently, I'm
Builder
trusting
of the Red
a
Army.
Redditor's comment on this, so maybe it's completely false. But
what is Tankograd, Loris?
I have no idea.
Oh,
I saw somebody on Reddit saying like, "Oh, Tankograd's real." I just took them for granted. It's like, okay, fine.
Chat, what is Tankograd?
Someone please tell us.
First we ask Loris, and if Loris doesn't know, then we ask chat.
Do we want chat to know?
I knew Valergane would get it. Chelyabinsk. Why is it called Tankograd? Let's see. During the first 5-year plan of the 1930s, Chelyabinsk experienced rapid industrial growth. Several important factories, including the Chelyabinsk tractor plant and the Chelyabinsk metallurgical plant, were built at this time. During World War II, Joseph Stalin decided to move a large part of the Soviet manufacturing to areas removed from the reach of the advancing German military as part of a general exodus from Western occupied areas. Brought new industries and thousands of workers, including factories for the production of T-34 tanks and Katyusha rocket launchers. The city's industries produced 18,000 tanks and 48,500 tank diesel engines. I'm curious what they did with the extra, 3,000 engines, if they were just sitting around in case we need extra ones.
Well, no, the Soviets maybe just left them on the side to rot. Because, that's
no, I mean, I would expect it would be more like 18,000 tanks than 7,000 engines, and then you grab the engine from the tank next to you if that tank gets
yeah.
It was informally called Tankograd, Tank City. Okay, so yeah, it was kind of a funny, goofy.
I guess that's part of the historical path. I think the builder of a Red Army, which is the other tier, would be the Trotsky path, I assume.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be a fairly extensive Trotsky path. So.
Yeah, I think builder of Red Army would make sense for a Trotsky path because I think he was pretty much quite involved in that, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm
I think maybe there's even part of a Mexico tree is builder of a Red Army, maybe.
Maybe.
Possibly. Yeah. I can't remember off memory, but.
Yeah, I don't know. Did they say when Hearts of Iron Dev Diaries are coming back? I don't know if they've actually.
I think not that I've seen. Yes, it is light mode Twitter because Leanna is practicing heresy.
I just don't. I haven't bothered to change it. It's I'm gonna have to go figure out where the option is, and I just haven't bothered to change it.
I use light mode too. I
use
changed it to dark
on my phone. Yeah.
I used to just use light mode.
I
gotten so used to light mode. It's I switched to dark mode. It's I'm just not used to this. So
you click on more under profile.
Okay.
Settings and privacy.
I'm not gonna do that on stream, but maybe I'll remember to do it after.
Well,
pretty sure it's in there.
Please don't hurt our eyes. Come on. Okay.
No,
see, now because you're whining about it, I'm going to leave it how it is.
Yeah. It's just the blinding light of justice.
I'm actually going to turn the brightness up even higher. I'm going to turn HDR on.
Only sinners shrivel from the light. That's what it is.
Cool.
Bloom to maximum. Yeah.
That's interesting. They have default, which is white, which is the white mode. Then they have dim, and then they have lights out.
Oh.
And you can also change the color of all the buttons instead of just the regular blue. You can make it yellow, red, purple, orange,
Can I have
green.
hot pink? Can I have hot pink in light mode? Oh, lime. Can I have a lime background and hot pink buttons?
I mean, it's just green. It's not lime.
Oh, I want it to be as eye-gorging as possible.
Comedy, there's a light mode for Discord? I had no idea.
Yeah, but see, Discord is actually smart, unlike Twitter, and they made dark mode the default.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, that would be bizarre. I guess that's just basically Slack at that point.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure for some people they need it, but
yeah, I suppose you can just edit the HTML in the file. You might click and edit it, and you could change it to lime green if you really wanted to.
If you live in northern Alaska and it's night for 3 months out of the year, I'd probably use light mode, at least during the winter. But yeah.
I just use whatever's default. There's a really cool reply. Byron mentions
Alfred,
one of the
yes,
Alfred, right? Yeah. That flag is basically they set up a city, as the Soviets did, to specialize in something, and this was in nuclear research. I
freaking love that it's just a bear ripping an atom apart. That's so
that's right. Yeah,
it's so badass.
It's very good, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Like it's so and it's so on the nose too. Like it's like that's so Soviet that it's just like
yeah, it is, isn't it? It's like
it's just ridiculous. But yeah,
it's very over the top.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, I can't believe that was an actual thing.
It doesn't look like it should have been.
Yeah, but apparently it was. Yeah. Well, that's all the news we have this week.
Yeah.
Rose, have you been up to anything interesting lately? You doing anything cool on your channel?
Played some more Old World.
Yeah.
We'll be diving into The Sims Cottage Living tomorrow.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I'll be playing that too.
The Deal family, rags to riches. Like, he's the 12th generation. She is.
Nice. You
So
had
having
any
a Sims segment in the next show, definitely.
we could do like a bonus
Sims episode.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if we're still scarce on Dev Diaries next week. Oh, but they also added like things to the free patch. They added pawns. Like,
nice.
Not only can you landscape or do terrain editing, but you can put ponds in, and you can set them, and you put like fish and ducks, and
is that free?
Like, quite cool looking. That's the free patch.
Can I build an entire underwater habitat? Can I just flood the whole lot and then just build like a series
don't know. I haven't loaded it up to take a look. And
that's
the patch
what
was.
I want like the Sims Rapture edition, where you could have like hull breaches, and you have to go repair it, or everybody drowns, and then everyone gets addicted to plasmids and.
Perfect. I want winemaking.
And I think you're playing
Splicers
an entirely different game here.
Splicers, yeah.
Yeah, they've already got vampires and stuff. Why not Splicers?
Splicers.
Yeah.
I want winemaking back. Remember winemaking was in Sims 3? But they called it plasma. Remember that? Not so good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, no, I want to like my farm in Stardew is basically a giant brewery now. They should let us do that. Yeah. Yeah. Any new adventures in Old World since the last time we talked that were particularly memorable?
That daughter, Queen,
Mm-hmm.
she ended up becoming Queen, the one who had so much trouble in her youth. And right before her father died, he slept with a Cortesian, had a bastard, and then made her legitimate. So her heir is like her sister, who's 40 years younger than her.
Oh man!
Since we're going by, I forget what it's called, but basically the person who's closest to the original Dynasty member.
Oh yeah. I forget what that's exactly.
Yeah.
I keep getting the multiplayer CK3 game I'm playing right now. I have like a very like lustful partier as a ruler, and like he keeps getting exposed for adultery, and I'm literally like, I don't remember this woman. I'm sorry. I guess I fathered a bastard at some point. I was just clicking buttons. I don't remember doing that. I plead innocence on the basis of I wasn't paying attention, and I don't remember any of this happening. But that's happened like 3 times now. Yeah.
Agamade here is mentioning it's been breaking some graphics cards. I did have some issues with it when I loaded it up last Thursday. I tried to move around the map, and the whole thing was like blurred. Like back when you get VHS tapes and you'd like fast forward or rewind when it was on screen and you could see it. That's what it looked like on my screen for a moment.
What's been breaking graphics cards? Old World?
Old World. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I haven't had any issues with it.
So I think I lowered the settings, or I checked the settings, and then I restarted the game, and it was better. But I almost did not stream Old World last Thursday because I was like, no, I'm going to get a headache if this happened. Not Old World, New World? Well, I had an issue with Old World last week.
New World has been breaking graphics cards.
Oh, right. Okay.
There were actually people in my review for Old World who were confused because they thought it was New World, and they were like, wait, this doesn't look like an MMO. Yeah. So.
What's
yes,
like
the colonialism
like,
MMO from Amazon, exactly.
what's like so like unique about it, or is it just another like generic MMO?
I haven't been following it that closely, honestly.
Same.
The closed beta.
The only MMO I'm really into is Final Fantasy XIV, where the free trial currently goes all the way up to level 60 and includes the award-winning Heavensward expansion. So, yeah.
I liked
PlanetSide
1 was very good. That's the only MMO I liked. Dofus? No one has ever heard of Dofus. I love Dofus.
What was the other one you said?
PlanetSide 1 and Dofus.
Oh, okay. I liked both of the PlanetSide games quite a bit.
I didn't like PlanetSide 2. PlanetSide 1 was really good. I think it was a lot slower. It was like too high octane. It was like, like a proper FPS, like everyone's like jumping around and shit. Like, I don't want that. I want to sit in a transit bus for half an hour before I get to the action and then die within 2 seconds. Like, that's my idea of fun, and I really enjoyed that in PlanetSide 1.
Oh.
But there's like different phases in 1, right? You had a bridge battle, and then you had you took down a generator. But it was like some structure to it, but you didn't have PlanetSide 2 is more about taking 800 Ritalins and doing a 180 no scope. That's basically it's not my sort of jam.
Well, you obviously just haven't taken enough Ritalin. Yeah.
Dofus is brilliant. That was like a board game MMO sort of thing, and it was very French.
Oh, okay.
It's an incredibly French MMO.
No. I'm looking here at the trailer for New World, and really, they're taking the time to show that you can fish. Fishing is typically the least exciting thing in any MMO.
I feel like most MMO trailers are like, here's a bunch of things you've already done 300 times in other MMOs.
Well, do you remember, what was it, Star Wars Galaxies originally? You could take your class, it's like my grandfather did that. He never went and fought enemies or anything. He leveled up entirely. He was, I forgot what he crafted, but that's all he did. Or I did a dancer. I spent all my time in a canteen dancing.
Yeah. I like MMOs where you can have a non-combat character. Those are and the
RuneScape was weirdly like that.
I think they changed it though, didn't they?
Yeah, they destroyed Star Wars Galaxies. They tried to make it into WoW, and they completely destroyed it. Yeah.
That's the thing. Like a lot of MMOs, they don't have a unique thing. They just try to be World of Warcraft nowadays.
And like the original Star Wars Galaxies, like it was so hard to become a Jedi that if you actually saw a Jedi, it was like if somebody in the Star Wars universe, like in A New Hope time period, saw a Jedi. You were like, holy shit, it's a Jedi. Like there were like 4 of them or something. And now you can start as a Jedi. So
which Jedi are overpowered. If you're gonna do that, then everyone in the game should be a Jedi, but then it's not. I don't know.
Yeah, and I used to play. There was a browser MMO called Star Wars Combine. Where it was like when you created your character, you had like a small chance of being force sensitive, and then if you were, you could go pursue Jedi or Sith training or whatever. But I kind of like that. I know it's like impossible to like make it feel fair because there's always going to be like some randomness involved. I think in Star Wars Galaxies, you also had to like grind for an insane amount of time to make it happen. But I kind of like an MMO where there's like certain things that are rare and that not everybody can get. I don't know. It makes the world
or
feel
if you
more
did
real.
something where if someone becomes a Jedi, they can't do their previous skills.
Yeah.
And you cannot, and the game is not balanced to the point where, like, you can't do a group in a dungeon without a healer and a tank and DPS.
Yeah.
Like, you to be successful, you need one of each. And usually multiple DPS. But if they did something where you still needed those entertainers, you needed the architects or whatever they were called, to the point where, maybe people don't want to play them, but the people that do play them get really wealthy in the game or something. Yeah.
Well, and you can make them fun. Like you can add crafting quests. You can like make if you're a blacksmith, you know, there's like a quest where you build up to making like the ultimate sword or something like it's not a problem that can't be solved. Every other activity is less interesting than combat. Well, that's because of how the content is designed. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like, that was one problem with the entertainer, is you literally would just stand there and dance in the cantina to get your skill up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like there's no market for it. Look at all like farming simulators, flight simulators, it's a huge market. So like,
well,
it's not like people don't enjoy doing stuff that
EVE Online,
your average marketeer doesn't think is fun.
Yeah, EVE Online is completely built around that because almost everything in the game has to be made by a player. So there's a role for.
Well, what have you been up to, Leanna?
Well, I've been playing more Old Worlds. I finally started a game as I'm trying out Carthage for the first time. They're a lot of fun, especially if you do the like the island map type.
Ooh.
Yeah. I've also been doing a little bit of Going Medieval. I think I've kind of hit a point with it where it's like, yeah, I'll wait till it gets a few more patches in before I really commit a ton of
my moderators is actually in the credits for that because he was one of the original alpha testers.
Hell yeah.
And is friends with one of the devs. But he has done a couple of little mods that actually probably broke and I need to redo them. But one of them is you can make the stacks bigger that you're storing items, which makes storage so much better.
Yeah, I would definitely love some more storage containers instead of just having to build this giant warehouse of random bullshit
that's the thing,
on the ground.
You don't need quite so much storage area because instead of, I think it's like 100 it's currently capped out in the game, his mod puts it as stacks of 500.
Oh, okay,
so
gotcha.
that makes it a little easier until we get more ways to store things. So they said there's going to be like ways to put armor and weapons on the wall and do racks and things in the future. But until that point, it helps with management to have larger stacks of hay and
Also, Oxakun's in chat now, which missed all the cool stuff we could have asked her about CK. CK2 you work on, right? CK3, sorry.
CK2. Yeah, there's
CK2 again.
There's still a team secretly working on CK2. Yeah.
This is maybe working on like this massive, huge expansion as like China and America and everything. It's like it's huge.
I was gonna say the one other thing that kind of annoyed me about Going Medieval is I found out during winter that like once the grass is gone, it's gone, and if you haven't made beds already, you just won't have beds until new grass grows in the spring. And I felt like, okay, there's got to be something we can sleep on, right? Like it's not like, oh, there's no grass, so we're not gonna have beds. It's like, come on, give me some other way to make a.
You start with that lone wolf. You've got to go out and harvest some hay immediately and berries.
Yes, yeah. It's a tough start, yeah. I also, in non-strategy game news, I finally broke down and got Red Dead Redemption 2, which I have been enjoying a lot. I didn't even realize that like a huge part of the map is based on Colorado, where I live and where I grew up, which I probably wouldn't have held out this long if I had known that. Like,
which part of the map is?
Amberino. So Amberino basically it's a spin on the etymology of where the name Colorado comes from.
Right.
They're basically almost the same thing in Spanish. Yeah.
I love how ridiculous the biome changes are in Red Dead Valley. Like you got the Mississippi area.
Yeah, I haven't even been down there yet. But yeah, like Amberino is definitely like the Colorado Rockies, and then like the Heartland area around Valentine really reminds me of Wyoming, like the plains, the plains area of Wyoming that's just east of the mountains. It looks very, very, very similar. So it kind of feels like riding around in a past version of my home state, which is Edgar Hilario, I don't know why you just keep posting GTA 4 and GTA 5 in chat. I don't know if you want us to talk about GTA. I don't know. Maybe you're a bot. I'm not sure. If you could clarify for us. I'm not sure what you're trying to say there.
This should be a GTA 5
GTA 5, GTA 5, GTA 4, GTA 5, GTA 5. Yeah.
It's a code.
Yeah, this is a numbers station. Actually, our chat is being used as a numbers station by some kind of spy agency. Yeah. GTA 6 when? I don't know. Probably not. Probably after Victoria 3 would be my guess.
Yeah, well, they're still working on GTA 5, aren't they? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, GTA 5 is like an infinite money printer at this point with like the shark cards and stuff. So
I don't like because they just invest in that rather than Red Dead Redemption 2. Because Red Dead Redemption 2 is just cooler and it's got a lot of content. Really needs work and a bit of love, right? But
yeah, no, I like the world a lot better in Red Dead. I've only barely touched the multiplayer. I was talking about how weird it is that like the first mission they give you is to go kill 5 guys by yourself, and it's like I just got here. Like, you want me to be this badass gunslinger already? Like, can we work up to that? Like, I'm not gonna kill 5 armed bandits by myself as the very first mission.
It's the first person you meet.
Here's a terrible gun and a terrible horse. Now just go be a badass. Like, come on. Yeah. So, yeah, that's been a lot of fun. We will be back next week, hopefully with some Meteor Dev Diaries. I know this was like very light on grand strategy content this week.
Just a little bit. We talked about The Sims. That's pretty grand strategy.
Yeah, I think we can make an argument that The Sims is a grand strategy game.
Look, I think The Sims like is really a good selling point for CK, right? I mean, like, I think if you love The Sims, you'd love CK3, and if you like CK3, you probably love The Sims, to be honest.
Well, if you only played The Sims to build, you might not be such a huge fan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe yeah.
But yeah, the multi-generational dynastic aspect of it, I think there's a lot of people who play Crusader Kings and
Yes.
Yes.
Especially since CK3 came out.
Yeah, I call it medieval murder sims a lot when I'm trying to describe it to people who have never played it.
Yeah. Just call it Sims Medieval 2, you know, and then you sort it.
Pretty much, yeah. Especially if we eventually, if like Royal Court adds like the court, if we eventually can like walk around and design our castle, I would love that. That'd be
that's the first thing I thought of when like Royal Court was announced. I thought, oh, that's Sims 2, Sims Medieval, isn't it? That's great. Yeah. I love that.
They have to have different Simlish for every language group. So, like, if your character is Turkish, their Simlish will sound kind of Turkish, and, like, they're,
Not to, like, drag this show back into The Sims. Do they have that? Like, you go to the like, Mexican area, and the Simlish sounds...
Do they? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think so.
You mean going to Jungle Adventure? Saldoravo?
Saldoravo,
that wasn't Mexican.
Oh, was it not?
It was more farther south.
Oh, well.
There's parts of Mexico, like very southern Mexico, like the Yucatan Peninsula has jungles, but yeah, probably more Central American.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we will be back next week with some more grand strategy news. We know there will for sure be a Victoria 3 Dev Diary.
Yes.
That's going to be coming out tomorrow, so we'll have more grand strategy, directly grand strategy relevant news to talk about.
There was also like a monthly update video.
Oh yeah.
But we've already covered everything in it already.
Well,
it was really well presented.
There was a little bit of new info in that, but we can get into that next week as well. There was like a couple little things that I caught, but
there's a few screenshots, new ones.
Right.
But, yeah.
All right. So see you next week, everybody.
Have a lovely evening.
Oh, and here's where to find all of our social media stuff. So I forgot. Leave that up for a little bit. Okay, bye.
Bye, goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Professional.
Yes.